This week on Jerusalem Dateline, police recommend indicting the Israeli Prime Minister. Will he be forced to step down? Plus, Israel downs an Iranian drone. Then Syria shoots down an Israeli F-16. Could this mean Israel is heading for war with Iran and Syria? And a look at the story behind the new film, 1517 to Paris. All this and more this week on Jerusalem Dateline. Hello and welcome to this edition of Jerusalem Dateline. I'm Chris Mitchell. Israeli police dropped a political and legal bombshell when they recommended 2 indictments against Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The announcement throws Israel into political uncertainty. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addressed a nationwide audience and vehemently denied the charges.
All those attempts without exception ended with nothing because I know the truth. I'm telling you, also this time things will end up being nothing.
Netanyahu said everything he did was for the good of the country.
This feeling of mission is the reason why I'm here, and that's also the reason why you, the citizens of Israel, are giving me your trust again and again, because you know that I'm doing everything when only one thing is in front of my eyes, the good of this country. Not for cigars from a friend, not for a journalistic cover, not for anything, only the good of the country, and nothing will deter me in this sacred kingdom, also not the accusations.
The police recommended that Netanyahu be indicted for bribery and breach of trust in 2 separate cases, known as Case 1000 and Case 2000. Case 1000 contends Netanyahu received hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of gifts from 2 close friends in exchange for advocating legislation that would benefit those friends. Case 2000 asserts Netanyahu made a deal with a major Israeli publisher for favorable coverage that would weaken a rival publication. The recommendations now go to Israel's Attorney General Avichai Mandelblit. He decides whether or not to indict Netanyahu or dismiss the charges. His decision could take months. In the meantime, his political rivals are calling for Netanyahu to resign. But even if he's indicted, he is under no legal obligation to step down. Now, with the possible war with Iran looming on the horizon, a volatile Middle East, and improved relations with the White House, Israel's longest-serving prime minister is entering the battle of his political and legal life. Israel and Iran took a step back after the most significant conflict with Syria and Iran in years. But the incident represented a dramatic escalation with Iran and Syria and sparked talks of war in the Middle East. The incident began when Iran sent an unmanned aerial vehicle, or UAV, into Israeli airspace that an Israeli spokesman called a severe violation of Israeli sovereignty. Israel destroyed the drone and then countered with an airstrike on the command center that launched the UAV. During Israel's attack, Syria launched at least 20 anti-aircraft missiles and downed an F-16. It marked the first time in more than 30 years an Israeli plane was shot down by enemy fire. The pilot suffered serious wounds and was airlifted to a hospital. Israel then launched a second large-scale attack. It struck 12 targets inside Syria, including 4 Iranian installations. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu emphasized his warnings about Iran.
Iran seeks to use Syrian territory to attack Israel for its professed goal of destroying Israel. Our warnings were 100% correct. Israel holds Iran and its Syrian host responsible for today's aggression. We will continue to do whatever is necessary to protect our sovereignty and our security.
After the incident, the U.S. State Department said Iran's ambition to project its power and dominance places all of the people in the region at risk. And the U.S. Defense Department said Israel is our closest security partner in the region, and we fully support Israel's inherent right to defend itself. In Tehran, Iran downplayed its involvement, while hundreds of thousands of Iranians celebrated the 39th anniversary of the Iranian Revolution. They shouted "Death to Israel" and "Death to America" and displayed a number of ballistic missiles. One Israeli expert said Iran is determined to build Syria into an Iranian military base, while Israel is determined to stop it. Former IDF intelligence officer Marco Moreno told CBN News Iran is advancing its goal to dominate the region and threaten Israel.
Lebanon is, they own Lebanon. Iraq, it's on its way. Syria, not yet, but it will happen. It's a strategic decision that the Iranian took to open a front with us in the Golan Heights. I think 2018 will be very important for us to deal with this problem.
President Trump's decision to declare Jerusalem as Israel's capital has sent shockwaves through the Israeli-Palestinian peace process. The Palestinians have stopped talking to the U.S., and questions surround their longtime leader, Mahmoud Abbas. So what does that mean to the pursuit of a Palestinian state? Take a look. Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas is 82. He's currently in his 13th year as president, a role that was intended to last only 4. Whether by elections or retirement, his reign will eventually end. That brings up a major question. What will happen to the PA when Abbas is no longer in office?
Many things that the whole thing will actually collapse. Because the Palestinian idea is actually a house made of cards.
And Arabic expert Dr. Mordecai Kadar believes that could happen within 2 weeks of an Abbas departure. Why? He says it's because the Palestinian plan is based on pipe dreams.
That Jerusalem will be theirs, that their refugees will come back, that Israel will allow it, that they will have a full state, although it can turn into a terror state as happened in Gaza, that the whole world will support them and these are all dreams.
According to Kadar, President Trump tore down 2 parts of their foundation.
Trump actually took 2 very important cards, pulled out from this building, the Jerusalem card and the refugees, by not sponsoring UNRWA anymore, or partially.
The U.S. Congress may pull out another card. Legislation called the Taylor Force Act could potentially stop hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars going to the PA. That's because the PA rewards convicted terrorists who murder and attack Israelis. Even if the Palestinian Authority were to remain intact, there are other roadblocks to peace. The discord between Abbas's Fatah faction and Hamas, which rules Gaza, continues. Then there's the stated goal of the Palestinian National Movement.
They actually show it on this scarf which they carry in demonstrations and everywhere. And this is by the PLO, as you can see, because this is the PLO flag. On one side they show Al-Quds Lana, means Jerusalem is ours. Although Jerusalem was never any capital of any Arab or Islamic country. On the other side, it's Palestine. Palestine.
A close look reveals the map of Palestine is actually a map encompassing all of Israel. Kadar says a Palestinian state would also have internal problems. That's because a number of so-called nations don't work well in this region. The Middle East is really a series of tribes, clans, and different religious factions. So is it possible to have peace?
The only solution, therefore, is to emulate the Emirate solution, because the only countries in the Arab world which are successful are the Emirates in the Gulf. Why? Because every Emirate is one single tribe.
So what advice would Kadar offer President Trump and his peace team?
I would try to convince President Trump and his crew to learn about the Middle East, because if you don't know about the culture of the Middle East, the chance that you miss is 100%.
Coming up, Israel at 70. A look at how it's becoming a light unto the nations. In just a few weeks, Israel will celebrate its 70th anniversary. Here's a look back at where the infant state of Israel was in 1948, where it is today, and how it's fulfilling ancient prophecies. On May 14, 1948, Israel took its place among the nations when David Ben-Gurion announced the establishment of the Jewish state.
What was the situation in May 1948 when we were 600,000 people here? About half the size of a mid-sized American city, with basically handguns fighting 6 Arab armies that came within 25 miles of Tel Aviv, by the way. It's hard to imagine today. That surrounded Jerusalem, not far from where we're sitting. No economy, no allies. a population that was still languishing in displaced person camp in Europe after the Holocaust. I mean, think about that.
70 years later, Israel not only survived, but thrived.
Our economy has one of the highest growth rates in the world. We have one of the most powerful armies in the world leader in technology. Israel is regularly listed one of the 7th or 8th most powerful countries in the world. In a historical perspective, I think that Israel's situation is nothing less short of miraculous.
Israel's continuing miracle is not only that it's thrived, but now helps nations in need.
Because we're a light unto the nations. That's the great fulfillment of that great prophecy. And in fact, that's what Israel is doing. It's doing it in places like Haiti or in the Philippines or in Mexico.
When Israel sent aid to Mexico after their recent devastating earthquake, Mexicans applauded them on the streets.
They just love Israel. And you see that elsewhere, in many places around the world. And people say, well, what do you do? I mean, what is it that you get out of it? And the answer is, we're not getting out of it anything. We're fulfilling our deepest values. Israel is a light unto the nations.
Israel is not just going to the nations, but now the nations are coming to Israel. The company is called Our Crowd. That's brought 10,000 people from 90 countries around the world here to Jerusalem for a high-tech summit, bringing together innovation and investment.
Turns out that Israel is really the second most important source of innovation and innovative companies in the world outside of the United States and Silicon Valley. We're called the Startup Nation. We're looking here across the walls to Jerusalem in our ancient history. We've always been dreamers here in Israel. Whether it's back in the time of Abraham or the prophets, there's always been incredible good news to come from this country. And today the good news is about innovation and technology.
And 70 years on, Israel is protecting the birthplace of the good news and more.
What is today the entrance of the old city. But that's actually King Herod's palace. We believe very much that this was the place of the trial of Jesus, according to what we learn from the New Testament.
Shahar Shiloh serves as a consultant for the Tower of David Museum in Jerusalem. He says Israel, since its founding, has preserved the historical and biblical sites, dug into its ancient past, and opened its door to people of all faiths. He says it's a mission.
Tourism is much more than just making money. Tourism is making friends. Tourism is making advocacy. Tourism is making your partnership around the world a lot safer. Our, mutual basis grows stronger with every tourist being in Israel, living back home, and talking about Israel wherever he lives. This is something that we cannot achieve without tourism.
Shiloh says a visit to Israel for Christians should be a personal mission.
We're always saying, before coming to Israel, you read the Bible, you see it in black and white. Once visited Israel, in every chapter, every story, every time you read about Paul, Peter, or Jesus, or St. Mary, it's all vivid and vibe. And everything becomes in full color, full HD, 4K. Something happens in your soul, and you're never, we say you'll never be the same again. This is my message to our brothers and sisters from the Christian world. Visiting Israel is a part of your soul and your heritage, not mine only, yours as well. And if you wish to understand yourself better and the Bible better, and your friends, and the next time you go to church, you need to be here. It's a mission for life.
Whether helping the world through humanitarian outreach, bringing innovation to global investors, or being the responsible stewards of history, these are simply a fulfillment of Israel's mission to the world. Tikkun Olam, the Jewish principle of repairing the world. And as the Hebrew prophet Isaiah wrote nearly 2,700 years ago, to be a light to the nations. Coming up, the real-life story of 3 brave Americans who risked their lives to stop a major terror attack. Now it's a major motion picture. Film director Clint Eastwood's new film is called The 1517 to Paris. It tells the real-life story of 3 brave Americans whose quick action turned them into heroes on a high-speed railway ride through Europe on August 21, 2015. CBN News' Ephraim Graham sat down with those 3 Americans who played themselves in the movie.
August 21st, 2015. We begin with breaking news overnight. 3 Americans are hailed as heroes for foiling an attack on a high-speed train in Europe.
Alex Scarlatos, Anthony Sadler, and Spencer Stone.
2 American servicemen and their friend on vacation in France praised for stopping what could have been a mass killing.
Dominate headlines around the world.
You see them right there getting the Legion of Honor, France's highest civilian award.
We just want to say thank you to them for not only saving so many lives, but also for making America look so good.
Now their story is told through the feature film 1517 to Paris. Clint Eastwood, who directs the action drama, began with an unlikely casting decision.
I was going through the regular casting thing of looking through a lot of actors and tape, good actors too, and they would have done a good job. But I kept looking at the guys, and I kept looking at their faces, and going over this. And finally, one day, I just said, "Do you guys think you could play yourselves?"
Take me back to when he does ask. What are you thinking when he says, "Can you play yourselves?"
We just couldn't say no. We said yes right away. And then when he left the room for the first time, we all kind of looked at each other like, can we really do this?
We didn't want to risk the success of the film, having not acted before. We're like, I'm sure actors could do it. Like, this is unheard of. At the time, it just seemed so crazy almost.
Was it a difficult task redoing this?
It was definitely different, that's for sure. I wouldn't necessarily, I mean, it was difficult, especially to begin with, when we first started getting used to just being on set. But once we got used to it, it was still pretty difficult, but I mean, especially the scenes when it was just us, it was just like hanging out with your friends again.
You guys just want to skip Paris?
Or at least delay it a little bit.
Let's go back to that day in August when you guys are getting up to go about your day, prepare for this trip. Was there something different? Did you feel something odd about the day?
Not odd about the day. Maybe what was odd about it was how close we were to staying in Amsterdam. It was almost a force that we had been feeling all week to stay there almost, I would say. But even the morning of, we had already packed the night before, and we were like, should we stay though? And then I think looking back in hindsight, that was a question within ourselves because without really knowing at the time, God was probably trying to tell us that we need to go.
You should have heard this guy. He was talking about how life is catapulting him towards something like some greater purpose or something like that.
Spencer said that?
I know, deep, right?
You still think that?
I mean, I guess, but nothing's actually stopping us. If we weren't meant to be on the train tomorrow, something would physically stop us. An object in motion stays in motion unless acted upon by a greater force.
Recreating that train ride from Brussels to Paris where the 3 friends took down the terrorist wasn't easy.
You're moving it on a train that's going 180 miles per hour, and we had to stay on their schedule. So that means, you couldn't stop and say, wait a second, we're going to back up. And every time we got into a station, we were only there for however long it would be.
2 of you are sleeping, at least when this thing begins to unfold. You 2 are sleeping. Yeah. So you are awake and seeing this.
Right.
What clicks for all of you to just seem to work so in sync with each other and know what to do? What happened?
Well, I honestly think that probably just goes back to our training because, I mean, Spencer and I both got training in the military and we both kind of fell into our own individual roles. And then as far as the 3 of us working together, I think that just goes back to our friendship because we've been friends like pretty much our whole lives. I mean, Spencer and I have been friends since we were 5. We all met Anthony when we were 12, and we've all kind of gone our separate ways, but we all stayed in touch, and that's kind of the importance of like keeping up relationships because you never know when you might need to survive a terrorist attack with them.
I don't know, man. You ever just feel like life is just pushing us towards something, like some greater purpose?
What is this entire scenario, the story, and what you've gone through done for your faith? What has it done?
Definitely
just
reinforced
solidified it.
Yeah.
It's like a confirmation, like we said before, like said previously, like people like look all their lives for like this big biblical moment, like how it was in the Bible, like a confirmation, like this is my miracle, I need to believe, I need to see this in order to believe. And most people don't usually get that, so it's like usually a walk by faith. But for us, being only like 23 years old at the time, to have the factors that led up to it and have that kind of confirmation was kind of like our biblical moment. Like you could, no matter what you thought before, after surviving something like that and the circumstances under which we survived it, that was like, but God, only God.
Up next, see how Christians step in to help a new immigrant family traumatized by war in Ukraine. 6-year-old Dasha saw her city bombed in Ukraine by Russia. Later, her parents moved the family to Israel, but they didn't have money or jobs. Thankfully, CBN was there to help.
Dasha will always remember the moment Russian jets fired rockets at her home in Ukraine.
I heard this loud noise, and I didn't know what was happening. I got scared, so I ran to my mom.
We had no place to go to or hide. Dasha was trembling, so I just held her as close as I could and prayed as the sounds of the explosions got closer and closer.
The rockets missed their apartment building, but their neighbor's home took a direct hit.
War is when people kill each other. I know because my neighbor was killed by a bomb.
I knew we needed to leave this place. It was a matter of life and death, and I was afraid for my daughter and husband.
Dasha's parents are Messianic Jews, so they quickly made arrangements to flee to Israel. Soon after they left, their home was destroyed in an explosion.
It was a miracle we made it out of Ukraine alive, but we had nothing. We didn't have food, and I didn't know who could help us.
Then they learned about a local church supported by CBN Israel. Through the church, we help Ukrainians who fled the war. We provide families with food, diapers, and other things they need.
I don't know how we would have made it without the weekly food baskets. You fed my daughter and gave us a chance to start a new life.
With the help of CBN Israel, Dasha's family made it through that difficult time. Now both of her parents are working, while Dasha goes to school and learns Hebrew.
We really appreciate CBN Israel and everyone from around the world who have supported us. You are showing people here the love of Jesus, and we are so grateful.
Thank you for helping us live here and taking care of my family.
That's all for this edition. Thanks for joining us. Remember, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. I'm Chris Mitchell. We'll see you next time on Jerusalem Dateline.